All right. Have you ever tried to get your students to talk during a lesson and suddenly the room gets real quiet? You ask one question and only one student answers, and the rest of the class looks like they've entered a silent agreement not to speak. If you've ever struggled with getting students to communicate, to collaborate, or even to explain their thinking, today's video is for you. It's going to help because one of my favorite ways to get students talking in the classroom is student podcasting. And the best part, you do not need studio, fancy equipment, or complicated software. Today, I'm going to show you how to create a podcast using Adobe Express step by step and how you can use this same strategy with your students. If you're a teacher, a parent, or a creative who wants to simplify teaching and turn your skill into real income, you're in the right place. I'm Ebony from Easy Street Teaching and Learning, and on this channel, I show you how to teach it, create it, and sell it. Let's get into it. Now, if you're a teacher, imagine just for a moment that your students are doing this. Instead of short one-word answers in class, they're explaining ideas, collaborating with partners, and creating something they're proud to share with others. That's right. Podcasting does all of this. That's why podcasting works so well as a classroom project. Now, before we jump into the screen, let's simplify this. To start a podcast using Adobe Express, you need a topic, a quiet space, a microphone, even if just USB, and your voice. Yes, the one you use every day. You do not need a $500 mic, a soundproof studio, or a radio voice. Trust me, your regular voice is enough. Now let's get into the actual steps. All right, we are now inside Adobe Express. Just in case you are not sure how to get here, you're going to go to adobe.com/express and you're going to log in. Create an account, log in. And by the way, if you're an educator, educators get a free Adobe Express account. Once you're inside, you'll see this dashboard. Okay, so you're going to go here to the left-hand side. You're going to click this plus sign, which is for create. Then you're going to go down to video. But before we click video, let me just clarify something. We are creating a podcast episode, but here's the strategy. We're turning it into a video podcast so you can use it on YouTube, Spotify, social clips, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Because we don't want to just create content. We want to create multi-use content. So you're going to click here on video, and then you will click here. Now this brings you to the platform where you are able to start working on your video. If you look over here to the left, you see all of these wonderfully pre-created video backdrops, but we don't want any of these. We want to create our own. So we're going to go all the way down here to the bottom, and we're going to select Start from Scratch. We'll close this out. Now this brings us to a blank project. Now you'll see your timeline at the bottom of the screen right here. This is where your podcast will live. Now you have two options as we get started. Audio only podcast with static background or a talking head video podcast. And today I'm going to show you how to do both. So we'll go over here to the left-hand side. We will click this plus sign. We're going to select media. Now, once in media, this comes up, we want to go down and I'll just click here where I see sound effects. I am going to select here where I see record voiceover. Now, for yours, because I've already worked in Adobe Express, it doesn't show up as a brand new project for me. But on your end, if it's your first time, you're going to see the microphone option pop up. Please click allow so Adobe Express can use your mic. Now, before we hit record and we get started, have your outline ready. Do not just ramble. If you want to plug in and play podcast episode planner, especially if you're using this in your classroom, I created one that walks you through the entire script. starting with intro, then main points, and closing. So you're not just staring at a blank screen. I'll link that in the description box below if you want to grab it. As a matter of fact, here is a brief look at that document, just in case you are interested. This is the podcast script outline, just in case you wanted to create bullet points. And if this is for your students or if you are new to podcasting, you would probably need a script where you're writing out word from word what you're going to say. So I have also created the more detailed script for your podcast. It starts with your hook, then it moves on to your introduction, big idea, then real life connections, fun facts, and then conclusion. And of course, if you choose to grab this, it comes with a Canva link so you can change any of these sections to fit your needs. Now, going back to our podcast, just make sure you have your outline. So once we press record, you're ready to roll. I'm going to go ahead and press record and do a sample for you. And just know that you're going to make sure you're speaking clearly. Don't rush. If you mess up, you can pause, start the sentence again. It allows you to reset. And afterwards, we can trim it and fix it. So I'll just show you what it looks like. Counting down. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Science Classroom. Today, I'd like to just share with you one of my favorite strategies to use in Science Classroom. One strategy I love using in my science classroom is getting students to talk through their thinking. When students explain a concept out loud, whether it's plant and animal cells, electricity, or constructive and destructive processes, it helps them to process the content at a deeper level when they have to explain it. All right, I clicked finish recording. And as you can see at the bottom here, this little green footage here with the voice waves, this is my audio. Let's clean this up a bit. I'm going to click on my audio track, and then I see that this little bar shows up here. I can drag it in to clip it, or I can extend it. This allows me to trim the beginning or the end. So I'm going to just press play to see if I hear any awkward sounds. All right. So right about here, I can trim it to about here. All right. Perfect. I'm going to trim that up to match that. Pull that over. I'm sorry. And then I'm going to go to the end. Moving this here, and I'm going to play. So it sounds like I can trim a little bit more off the end. It can tell you a lot about what students have learned. Stopping here, and I'm going to trim it to here. All right. So if you want to split the clip for any reason because you're editing unwanted necessary footage, you're going to move the playhead to where you want it to clip. So let's say, for example, I want it to clip here. Now, I have two options. Do you see how these three little ellipses, three dots here, the ellipsis shows up? I can click it. This dialog box comes up. I can click here to split it, like so. If I accidentally split it in the wrong place, I'm going to go up and select my favorite button here, which is undo, and it will bring it back to its original format. Or I can just hold down, I move my playhead where I want it to go, and I would just hold down the S key and it will split it. Once again, if I accidentally split it in the wrong place, I'm going to move it, go back and select the undo button, and it will undo what I've just done. Now, the split button allows you to delete or get rid of any mistakes. Don't overthink it. Remember, authenticity beats perfection every time, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Now, we're going to go ahead and dress it up a little bit. Let's make this look good because presentation matters. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on the plus sign again. This time I'm going to Elements. Once in Elements, I'm going to click on Background. Now, I'm going to select this background. You can select any of these, but I'm selecting this one because I saw a cool gradient background that I'd like to add here. So I'm going to add this here. Now my colors are blue and lavender. So I'm going to change this one to, like, I actually like that color. So I'm going to leave it like that, select this, add to backdrop, and I am going to just extend that out because I want this to cover the entire video screen. All right, so now we are here. Now remember, when you're choosing your background, whether it's a solid color or a gradient color or even an uploaded color for your brand background, you're going to make sure that if you are branding a business, you use your brand colors. For me, I love the soft blues and even lavender all day, but these are the colors I chose this time around. So now we're going to come over here and we're going to click text. Okay. And we are going to add a title to our podcast. We're going to make sure we include the episode number and our name. And I want to change it to another type of font. Let's see. I like this font a little bit better. I'm going to make it bold. And I'm going to add my name. Let's add your name here. And just to add a little contrast, I will make sure this is not bold. Make it a little larger by dragging in the corner. Okay, so now I want to add like a little image to it. Not much, just a little image. So I'm going to click on this little plus sign here. I'm going to go to Elements. I'm going to click on All. And then I'm going to type in Science Lab. And I'm going to click View All. I like this picture here. It has the transparent background. I'm going to enlarge it to fit my cover. And there, you have it. Perfect. All right. So now my podcast is ready. I'm going to click share. I'm going to go down and click on download. Before I download it, I'm going to make sure that the file format is an MP4. I'm going to make sure that it has a 1080p resolution. And now I am ready to download it. It is downloading, and now my podcast is ready. Please don't forget that if you are starting a business, you're building a brand. If you are a student, you're sharing your learning. You're not creating a birthday party flyer. So once you create this, you want to make sure that it's not too busy and you didn't overcomplicate it. Now your audio podcast has been downloaded. It is now on your computer, just like that. You're done with that. Okay, so now if you recorded yourself on camera, on your iPad or your iPhone or a digital camera, and you want to use this footage to create your podcast, I'm going to show you what to do and how to do this. I'm going to walk you through this step by step. So for this example, I've already recorded a short video podcast using my webcam. Now I'm going to upload that video into Adobe Express. So I'm going to click here on the plus sign, back again, pretty much the same steps. I'm going to go over and click on video. And once again, I am going to go down to the bottom of my screen because I am starting from scratch. So it brings me here, click this. I'm going to click the plus sign again. This time I'm going to media and I'm going to upload files from my device. So I have this on my desktop. Here is my example podcast. I'm uploading it. Here is my video. So now I have uploaded my video and I want to edit my video for a little bit. Let's see. So now my video has processed. I want to remove the background. So I'm going to remove the background from my entire video. All right. So now my background has been removed. Now I'm going to give my video another background. Let's select Science Classroom. So I've selected this background. This will be my background. I'm going to add a cover to it. Uploads. All right. One strategy I love using in my science classroom is getting students to talk through their thinking. When students explain a concept out loud, whether it's the water cycle, force in motion, or ecosystems, it helps them process the content at a deeper level. Sometimes I have students record short video reflections or mini podcasts explaining what they've learned. This gives them a chance to practice academic vocabulary. So as you can see, this video that I've uploaded already had music incorporated. But I'm going to show you really quickly how to add audio to your podcast. Now you officially have a video podcast. See how we just upgraded your content in 60 seconds? Now that the video is uploaded, many video podcasts use a square layout because it leaves space to add titles, captions, and podcast branding. So I'm going to, now that the video is uploaded, many video podcasts use a square layout because it leaves space to add titles, captions, and podcast branding. So I'm going to change my canvas to a 1-to-1 square format, even though I've already designed the podcast. So I'm going to go right here to File. I'm going to click on Resize, and I'm going to change the format. So now just let it play a little bit. One strategy I love you. Okay, so right here, let's add a little transition. That works. Okay, so then right here, we're going to click on media again. And this time we're going to add a little music. Not much. That'll do. All right, so I'm going to add this one. And I only want it for the introduction, so I'm going to drag here because I only want it to play here. Because the video actually has its own audio, so I hope that it doesn't clash too badly with it. One strategy I love using in my science classroom is getting students to talk through their thinking. When students explain sounds pretty good to me. All right, so now we are done. We have added audio. We have created a title for our podcast. We've changed the format to a square shape so that your podcast layout is more appropriate for other social media platforms. So we're good. Now, you don't have to use the square. You can keep it as it was, but just note that many podcast creators prefer it because it works well for social media and it leaves room for design element. In regards to the background music, please make sure it's not too loud, lower it, volume is key. And as you see, the video that I've uploaded already had the background music, but you see that the background music is not overpowering and you can still hear my voice. Now, let's talk about captions. You can add captions to your podcast, your video podcast if you'd like. Captions increase watch time. So watch as I add a caption. Let me see, right about at a deeper level. Here, I'm going to add a caption at about right here. And I want to make sure it is here. And then I am going to, and I want the font to be white so that it stands out. Enlarge it just a little bit. Move it here. I want to add a little shadow so that it stands out. Add a little animation. Shadow right about here. So let's see. Let's play it so I can hear. Process the content at a deeper level. Sometimes I have students record short video reflections or shorter. Process the content at a deeper level. Sometimes I have students record, and I can even make that even shorter. Okay. Deeper level. Sometimes I have students record short video reflections or mini podcasts. So there you have it. I've added caption. Now, of course, you can go back and you can add captions in your podcast to highlight main points, quotes, hooks, whatever you feel you need to make your content more engaging. But for this example, I just added one caption just to show you how it's done. Once everything looks good, we are good to go. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go back. Everything looks good. And I am going to click on share here. And once again, I'm going to click on download. I'm going to make sure it's an MP4 file. I'm going to make sure that it says custom original size. I'm going to leave it at a 1080p. And I'm going to download it. All right, now my file has downloaded. It's here. Perfect. This is my podcast. I'm just going to press play just to hear, make sure everything is good. One strategy looks good. Now that you've downloaded your video podcast, your podcast is now ready to be uploaded to YouTube, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, your classroom website, your school's learning management system, Google Drive, OneDrive, whatever platform you need to, it is now available and ready for upload. Guess what? One recording, multiple income opportunities. Now let's take a step back for a second. Don't just start a podcast to talk. Start it to build authority, build trust, build audience, build income. Teachers and parents, this isn't just for your students. Teachers, you can podcast about classroom strategies. Parents, you can podcast about parenting systems or the daily issues that arise from just being a parent. And creatives, you can podcast about your skill and turn it into digital product. What does this mean? Simple. Podcast equates to content. Content equates to audience. Audience equates to offers, and offers equates to income. And now your goal is met. That's the strategy. Here's the real gem for my creators or teachers aiming to generate additional income. If you could take your 15-minute podcast and turn it into, let's say, 3 Instagram reels, 2 YouTube shorts, 5 quote graphics, 1 email newsletter, that's how you work smarter, not harder. And if you know me, this is my motto. Now let me talk directly to my teachers for a second. If you're in the classroom, this is not just a fun project. This is a literacy tool, a speaking standard, a research standard, and an engagement booster. Now let's break this down. Here are some of the ways that I have structured it in my classroom. We created podcasts to serve in several ways. First, we choose a purpose. Is it for a book review? If so, we create book review podcasts. We create historical fiction interviews, science concept explainers, math strategy breakdowns. Do not say, go make a podcast, give structure. Then we move on to step 2. You have to script first. You're going to have your students write intros, outline 3 main points, write closings. This builds writing skills, organization, critical thinking. And if you want to make this even easier, guess what? I've created a student podcast planning template that helps students organize their intro, talking points, and closing before they record, because structure is what keeps this from turning into chaos. I'll link that below as well. This moves on to step 3. Record in small groups. Schools are always focusing on small group instruction. Make it a center. Use classroom laptops, headphones with mics. Students rotate through recording stations. This keeps chaos down because we're not running a radio station, not in third period. Simple editing only. Now, as far as editing is concerned, students can do things like trim the beginning and the end, just as I modeled for you today. They can add background, add titles. That's it. Keep it simple. If you want to add audio, fine. If not, no worry. Step 5, publish strategically. Here are some of your options. Share privately on your school's LMS. Play during class. Share with parents. Or create a class podcast series. Imagine students knowing their voices matter. That changes engagement completely. And another way that I've used it in my classroom is I use it as a bank, a resource bank for my students to access to help them study. so it becomes a study tool. That way, students are able to go back and listen to their peers' podcasts and review previously taught content in the area of science. And listen, do not wait until you feel ready. You become ready by doing. Your first episode will not be perfect. Mine wasn't either. It was actually kind of painful to listen to again and again, but we did it and we got better. You know why? Because consistency beats perfection every time. So if you found value in this video, type value in the comment section below. Until next time, teach it with purpose, create it with strategy, and build income with confidence, the easy street way. And remember, dreams don't work unless you do.